And in Tommy Bowe, James Hook, Adam Jones and Jerry Collins, 4 players who made the Magners League Dream Team for 2009-2010. And Rob, all the makings of a fantastic event.
It is. I mean, there's a fantastic atmosphere at the ground. I mean, it's you look at the teams, and again, throughout both sides, you've got huge amounts of talent, and the battles, as I said, within the back row, but even in the back 5 as well, you know, Carney and Lee Byrne and so many others. So it should be a fantastic occasion, and one the Ospreys, I'm sure, will be desperate to win, but Leinster, perhaps at the moment, because it's home advantage, just have the edge.
Dan Biggar then starts the final. High kick straight into the 22. And immediately taken by Heaslip. Bank of Ireland Player of the Year for Leinster. Again, another player in that Magners League Dream Team. Only player to have been selected in it on all 4 occasions. An early mistake from Leinster. Ball going straight into touch, and nerves will play a big part, Rob.
Yeah, it will. I mean, one thing about Leinster's performances throughout the season, or the last couple of seasons, is the fact they don't make many mistakes. But that's one straight from the kick-off. Redden's kick just a little bit, perhaps a yard or two too far, and Ryan Jones doing very well to catch it in touch.
Bennett then, at the first line out, finds Ryan Jones. And immediately Collins straight in. We've seen that move so many times with the Ospreys, looking to attack through the middle of the line. Phillips there, eyes and ears of the pack. Ospreys will look to soften up the Leinster defence. A very physical game last week against Munster at the RDS. Van der Linde and Alan Wynne-Jones just exchanging, not blows particularly, just early game friendships. Big move for the referee, just to come in, settle things down. Chris White of the RFU. He's the most experienced English ref. 179 Premiership games, 3 Heineken Cup finals, and it's his 8th Magners appearance, actually including 2003 Magners League final at the Millennium Stadium between Neath and Munster.
Yeah, he is one of the better refs in world rugby. And I said he's going to have his a handful here in terms of ensuring that he keeps the discipline on the field, because both sides look very, very pumped up. You can see that when they came out, and early exchanges there with Van der Linde, Alan Wynne-Jones, just shows that both sides are desperate to get a result here.
Scrum's so important in these games. Again, fairly solid from the Ospreys. Pick up from Holler at the back. He's engulfed by Hines. Ball is there for Phillips. He has to dig for it though. Ryan Jones this time. He's met by 3 defenders. Hines again in the action. Lovely offload from Collins. Ball just went forward though. I think it was Bowe who spilt it.
Yeah, I think it was Tommy Bowe who came through. Short ball off, I think, off Jerry Collins. Found a little bit of space. They went a little bit wider and just couldn't quite get that pass away. Had he got it away, that could well have led to a try, but that's his strength as well. He doesn't die with the ball. He always looks to offload, but on that occasion the ball going forward.
And sensible play from Collins, because they know he's a big strong runner, he's going to be targeted, and this time just chose to offload, put players into space. There's Darcy, one half of the Darcy-O'Driscoll centre partnership, and they know this man very well. Tommy Bowe, Six Nations Player of the Year.
Well, he's a fantastic individual. He's had a great season, not just the Six Nations, but for the Ospreys as well, whether it be in Europe or in the Magners League. He's always been at the end of passes. He's scored many tries. But he has a creative talent as well. Pops up in and around the field, very much like Shane Williams, always looking for work.
Well, Mr. White deeming that the Ospreys have deliberately wheeled that ball at the scrum, giving the penalty away, letting Leinster off the hook somewhat.
Well, that's one thing Leinster have done over the last couple of years. They've always been a very good rugby side. They've always had a lot of talent behind the scrum. They've never always had a pack who can provide them with a platform for those guys to excel. But Michael Checker has worked hard to ensure that he strengthened that pack. CJ Van der Linde stand right, two formidable prop forwards, and their scrum does look strong. You can see they're just perhaps breaking the bind, and that's an area I think Leinster will target. They will look to put pressure on both the scrum and the line-out. The set piece is something that, as I said, they've really developed over the past 12 months.
Good reference from Mr. White as well, taking the opportunity, getting to the line-out to speak to both front rows. Good ball off the top from O'Kelly. Hit into the midfield with Heaslip again. He makes yards. Ball's there for Redden. And O'Kelly spills it. You can see that Leinster are trying to play the tempo, taking ball off the top, hitting up the midfield, trying to get into the likes of Andrew Bishop and James Hook. O'Kelly, well, it was just momentarily took his eye off the ball, spilling the ball, giving the Ospreys the opportunity now to attack from the scrum.
Yeah, so a couple of mistakes have crept in, and that's down purely, I think, to nerves on such a big occasion.
Again, the scrum dropping down. A lot of pressure in those front rows. Leinster will be buoyed by the fact that John Fogarty has just been selected for the Irish tour this summer. Places Rory Best. Just picked up an injury. And you put him inside Wright and Van der Linde, and that is some front row. Met, however, by James, Bennett and Jones. Not small themselves. Phillips speeds. Ryan Jones hits the blind side. Again, just taken down. Ball's there, Collins over the top. Phillips looks up quickly where there's a look bigger, looks for a cross kick. It's high, a little bit too far, and Mathey was under it. Great take.
Yeah, that was a fantastic take. And he's been one of the stars of this Leinster side as well. Said when he plays that outside half or on the wing. A great, great footballer, and then showing his strength. Doesn't get it to touch.
Bigger this time, hoists the high ball, just outside the 22. Carney takes it quite comfortably. Ospreys over the top. Sometimes difficult though when you have momentum, you're hitting the wreck. If you clear the players out in front of you, as Marty Holler did then.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I think Marty Holler there, he couldn't keep his balance when he went over the ball, but here's that Nathewa take under pressure, kept his eyes on the ball, called the mark, but then again the mistake came after that. Didn't find touch, put himself on his side under pressure.
Sexton finds touch this time. Line out to Leinster. We've got Hines, Scottish international, O'Kelly, Heaslip, all options at the line out. O'Kelly it is. Wide ball from Redden. Sexton pulls it back to Mathey, who has popped up into the line. A lovely offload. Just deemed forward though. Great work again.
Well, that's just different, isn't it, again? Nathewa pop in, outside or behind. Lovely pass by Darcy. This is the pass that's deemed forward. Yeah, it is. There's no doubt about that. A yard or two forward. But a very cleverly worked move by Leinster. And again, the big ball carrier, Heaslip, was the one missed out. All the focus defensively was on him from the Ospreys. But there was a change and a variation.
Phillips. Good mistake there with the left foot, putting it out. It's his first touch as well. Be disappointed with that. You see they're trying to hit the short side, play the ball there. Ideally he wants to keep that infield.
Yeah, I said it's been mistake-ridden so far. There's only 8 minutes gone. But both sides trying to find their feet, trying to settle.
Fogarty again with O'Kelly. Flat ball. Biggers involved, makes the tackle. Pinched by Holler. Phillips this time looks to push the ball upfield. And again, another mistake. You can see the Ospreys look nervous. Uncharacteristic mistake from Phillips.
Look at the work of Marty Holler here. Absolutely fantastic. He goes in, he allows Darcy time to try and place the ball, but he's so strong on his feet as well. I mean, he puts himself in a perfect position, and then the upper body strength comes in, and that's his biggest attribute, and does an awful lot of pinching possession.
Well, it might be his last game, O'Kelly, but they're certainly getting the most out of him. This time off with a slower ball, trying to drive it up, Fogarty at the back. Hit short. It was Jennings, the captain, this time spilt. It gives the Ospreys an opportunity to attack. Carney finds a high ball, chases. Phillips underneath. Carney comes out best. Right into the heart of the Ospreys defence. Scramble defence. Ball's there for Redden. Wide ball to Nathaiwa. This time it's Heaslip. He's met by his opposite number, Jones. Van der Lin's in the Redden again. And it is very, very frantic.
It's frantic. It's very intense as well defensively. The Ospreys, I mean, great work by Kenny. Kept his eye on the ball. Mike Phillips looked in, but he kept, and then he made inroads. But the Ospreys regrouping quickly and again putting pressure on the ball carrier. And Heaslip did well to stay infield and offload the pass. But the Ospreys typically then flying up in midfield, putting pressure on, and another mistake from the Leinster side.
Early push, Jones takes it quickly. Mistake again, it's still play though. Burn offload. First chance for Shane William, ball in hands, chips to the corner. It's on the banks now. Again, it's scrambled defence. Shane Williams rings and the Hollers in there, looking for the ball. Redden will try and clear his lines. And does so. And positive from the Ospreys, came from a mistake, but what was good, Rob, I thought, is a mistake by Leinster. 2 quick passes from the Ospreys, get the ball wide.
Yeah, very good work. I say, when it is turnover ball, you're always up against a disorganised defensive line, and they took advantage of that. They looked up, they saw where the space was, give Shane Williams an opportunity to open his legs early doors, and put themselves in a very, very good position.
Thomas just about gets hands it. Paul James clears up. Ball's there for Phillips. He's got Adam Jones standing off. He's in, tackled by O'Kelly, slows it down. But again, just looking to make hard yards. Tie in a straggling defence. Alan Wynne-Jones this time. Ryan Jones is there cleaning out. It's there for Phillips. Bigger. Williams. He's well tackled by O'Driscoll. Knows the danger that Williams has. It's there again for Mike Phillips. Hook this time, tries to dance, tries to eke his way through. A mistake from the Ospreys though, giving Leinster the opportunity. Turnover ball, Jerry Collins in this leg. Redden caught unawares there. O'Kelly popped the ball back. Byrne, big pass infield to Bow. Going across field. Shane Williams given the option of a inside ball. Bishop out to Alan Wynne-Jones. A speculative cross high kick. That's fielded by Carney. Now surely one of those were accidentally offside. Ball's charged down by Alan Wynne-Jones from Redden's kick. Comes to Horgan. Again, it's exciting, but it's scrappy. O'Kelly flows to right. Redden again. Looking to come wide. There's numbers here. Heaslip's out on the wing. He spent most of the time out on the wing at the moment. Playing advantage to the Ospreys, and knock on. Phillips drags it back. Tommy Bow into Collins. Only one way he's going is straight. Shane Williams, little dancing dummy. Didn't obstruct anybody. Ball's there for Phillips. And he's immediately tackled. Illegally so, though. And perhaps this will be the opportunity where things calm down and Bigger will have a shot at goal.
Well, it is. I mean, it is scrappy. A lot of it is because of the defensive effort. I mean, there's no time on the ball. There's a huge amount of pressure from both sides. I think Jennings there was penalised, perhaps coming in from the side. Didn't give Mike Phillips enough time to get rid of that ball. But I said there's a ferocity in the defensive effort from both sides. You've got no time to breathe, really, and that's why so many mistakes are being committed. But here's an opportunity at least to cool things down, get some points on the board.
Silly penalty from Jennings, really, because it was slow ball for Phillips. Leinster had managed to buy some time to organise their defence. And the one thing you can't do is defend the ball sailing 10 metres over your head through the sticks.
That's one thing with Mike Phillips. I think you can put pressure on him around the base when he picks up and takes that step or two to deliver. That's absolutely missed.
Slides past the post.
And Dan Bigger doesn't miss many kicks at goal. He's got a fantastic success rate.
This will have taken him over 200 points on 198 at the moment.
And in perfect conditions as well. You'd expect that to sail between the posts.
Come on, you had your chance now.
So it's a let off that for Leinster. And disappointment for the Ospreys.
Sexton puts it high. Bow is coming off the wing to take. Takes it with ease, but immediately met the Leinster defence. And likewise, he's lit this time on Mike Phillips. They know about his danger. They've seen him on the international field. Bigger just tries to squeeze one through the outside of his right foot. Just wonder, though, with the Leinster line out the way it is, whether the Ospreys would be better keeping the ball in hand, attacking through the phases. They've really just handed the ball back to Leinster now at this line out.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I think Malcolm O'Kelly, as you said, he's been the main target, perhaps the only target. I think he's won 4 of the Leinster throw-ins so far. Very organised, very disciplined in this department.
Hines is the choice this time. Goes to the front. Again, expect to see a high ball from Redden. Just try and gain an extra few yards. Heaslip's on the ball. Working it well this time. Ospreys in disarray. Heaslip breaks blind. Again, makes hard yards for a big man. On a plate for Redden. Up in the air, Horgan to chase. Well taken though, and great offload. Bigger to Bishop. Looking for support, still going Bishop. Lovely offload to Hook. Hook is spinning in the tackle. Speculative pass over the top. Horgan couldn't quite get it. Bow does. It's there. Paul James steps over, leaves it for Phillips. Jonathan Thomas takes it forward off an inside ball from Bigger. Ryan Jones. He's caught immediately by Jennings. Ospreys keep possession, but they're going backwards at a rate of knots. And Bigger just chips one over the top. Carney happy though. Just to clear down. Oh, thank you very much. How's that? O'Kelly straight in on Phillips. Phillips does very well to keep possession and set the ruck up. James in a scrum half. And it's hot potato at the moment for the Ospreys. They desperately need someone to almost put their foot in the ball.
I think you've got it right there. They just need to calm down, control things a little here. There's a lot of experience in this Ospreys side, and you've got to applaud them for what they're trying to do in terms of keeping the ball alive. But they're doing it under huge pressure and ultimately putting more pressure on themselves. They just need to calm things down a little. Go through the phases, just build the performance over a period of time.
Good kick from Byrne. This is the moment here. Dan Bigger. Mike Phillips takes it.
Mike Phillips does really well here, and there's no doubt, you know, I mean, he was under huge pressure, but to take the hit and then present the ball as he did.
Take from Ryan Jones. Bennett's in on it then. They're looking now to drive them all forward. Counter drive for Leinster. At best, it'll just be very, very slow ball for the Ospreys. Mike Phillips organises. Alan Wynne-Jones and Adam Jones stand off. Adam Jones clears out. It's there for Collins. Now Phillips. Phillips hits wide to Bigger. Short ball. Lovely ball to Bishop. Great offload. Tommy Bowe. Well worked try.
Again, a great movement there. And Tommy Bowe was at the end of it, but there was some great movement and work in midfield by the Ospreys. She's one happy woman, Osprey supporter. You see Dan Bigger.
Lovely line from Bishop.
There was a great line back inside from Bishop. It came from outside to in. You just look, takes that. There 2 or 3 other options. Dan Bigger choosing the right one. And then it was a simple give and take. It's a lovely short ball.
It was a lovely flat pass as well, but it was the angle of Andrew Bishop's run. Yeah. Can Bigger finish it off? Good strike, straight through, takes him to 200 points. It takes the Ospreys to 7, and after a very frenetic start, Ospreys are leading 7 points to 0.
And again, it was simple stuff as well. Work line out. As I said, fantastic angle by Andrew Bishop. Coming from the wide angle, but then coming in short. Lovely flat pass by Dan Bigger, as you said. And there's that man, Tommy Bowe. He's been on the end of many a pass, scored many a try. And then more, perhaps important than that one.
Hands away! Back foot, gentlemen, back foot.
Mike Phillips finds Byrne. Can't kick directly to touch because the ball was passed into the 22. So he's just gone for length. Kearney, though, looks to return with interest, runs it down. He's tackled by Shane Williams and Alan Wynne-Jones. David Changlin on the far side. Scottish referee has come in. I think he's going to speak about a high tackle.
Thank you very much. Can we go somewhere else? 15.
He's having a word with Lee Byrne. And, I mean, I'm sure it was something Chris White would have seen himself. Was it high? Lee Byrne saying that he had the jersey around the shoulders. Just looking at you. There's nothing high there. I mean, that's a poor decision. That's a poor decision. And I think Chris White saw enough himself to have made a decision there. He certainly didn't go for the whistle, but it was David Changlin coming in.
Very difficult though when your assistant referee comes in and recommends.
Yeah, you're right. He's got to take his word, his advice. They work together. They're a team.
James, you think push back a bit, please?
Andy McPherson and David Changlin of the Scottish Rugby Union assistant referees this evening. And the customary silence at the RDS for Saxton to kick. Probably just on the limit of his range, but he struck it well, and that's a great strike.
Well, I mean, he knows this ground very, very well. As I said, perfect conditions. The pitch is in absolutely immaculate condition, I have to say. Short cut grass, beautiful for running rugby. Both sides have tried to play that in these early exchanges, but defences have been too good, haven't allowed much space apart from, of course, that fantastic try by Tommy Bowe.
Well, there were big concerns when Contaponi left Leinster, but those considerable boots have been filled by Saxton. Formed a good half-back partnership with that man there, Redden. Vary the kick in between the two. Phillips again underneath it. Diffuses the high ball. Does well. Been driven backwards. Keeps his composure. Bowe comes in at 9. finds Byrne. There's a huge crossfield kick. Again, the high ball. Well taken by Byrne. Still going. Bodies flying into the rucks. Phillips. It's bigger.
Hang on, wait.
Again, looking to put the ball into space. Hogan comes off the wing. Mathewa this time. And a simple loop around by Hogan, but the ball is spilt. It's gone backwards though. O'Driscoll takes it forward. He's engulfed by Adam Jones. The ruck is set up. Redden hits blind. Saxton. O'Driscoll. And this time, ruck was formed. That's what Mr. White is saying. Marty Holler. The ruck is formed. It's hands out.
I think he made it quite clear there as well. Marty Holler arguing with the referee, but he made it quite clear. Remove your hands to Sem. And he stayed in there and given Sexton an opportunity at least to gain some extra yardage, getting near that 22-metre area.
The customary end-over-end kick.
Just looking, sorry, Dan Bigger there is having some treatment. He got up off the ground, hobbling a little.
Took a bump in that last passage of play. And he's quite a physical outside half. You look, he's 3 or 4 tackles made already. When Leinster were hitting up short, using Darcy straight off the line out, it was Bigger who took him. Whether that's a ploy of Leinster to use Darcy to get into that area.
It would be interesting to see what decision they'd make if Dan Bigger went off, whether they'd move James Hook to 10 or bring Gareth Owen on the bench straight into that position, which he's more than accustomed to.
O'Kelly again takes ball at the line out. Fogarty this time. Thought he saw a gap. It's closed immediately by Paul James. It's there for Redden. Sexton slightly deeper this time. Offloads to Darcy. Ball's out. Redden again. O'Driscoll. Wide pass to Hogan, who's fumbled it again. It's gone backwards though. No, it hasn't. It's played. Well, knock on.
Well, again, that's where David Changlin came in. I thought that ball went backwards, and immediately Chris White said it had gone backwards. Just look there, that ball goes backwards.
And a great pickup. Great pickup. Yep. Say little about the bit after.
Shane Hogan, I think he's dropped 2 or 3 passes.
Well, he has a habit of making mistakes. You look in the European Cup game here. Gave the interception. Such an important area of the game, the scrum. Saw it last week in the Leinster-Munster semi-final. Game that Leinster came out 16-6 winners. But it was a very, very physical encounter.
What was impressive as well, the second half defensive display by Leinster. They just didn't give Munster any time on the ball. That's the other thing about Leinster. They're a very, very fit outfit. Michael Checker, as I said, has got a solid scrum and set piece generally. He's got some big men in that pack, but they're all very fit and keep going for 80+ minutes.
It's Louis Watt.
He's one very excited individual.
Interesting to hear Checker speak at the start of the game, saying about there's no room for emotion this evening. Several players moving on. Himself going. O'Kelly leaving. Van der Linde is another one. Gervin Dempsey, who sat on the bench, he's retiring. So a lot of names leaving Leinster. But Checker made sure he pointed out that emotion wouldn't be playing a part till after the game.
Yeah, it's all about the result, isn't it?
We're in it, you know, so we've got to keep applying some pressure on them.
Yeah, we all know that Leinster are pretty clinical as far as the abilities to make mistakes. That's what they capitalise on, that's where they are. So is it a matter of just keeping those to a minimum now?
Yeah, this side makes the least amount of mistakes, you know. We're in control at the moment. We just got to keep our error count down. And as I said, just keep applying pressure on Leinster. Hopefully they'll crack, you know.
Thanks, Sean.
Wright came in then. Big swinging arm. Shane Williams saw it, lucky enough to get underneath it. But interesting to hear Holly saying it's we're in control. Just got to cut the mistakes down. I think could be echoed by Checker. Just slowly starting to go through the phases, though. Good offload by Phillips. Important that he doesn't get tied in. They need him at 9. Bow avoids, I was going to say avoids the injured player. Big tackle by Ryan Jones on Horgan. Again, Collins. He's tackled by Horgan. Ryan Jones again. Phillips looking to go slightly wider, hits Bennett. Biggers had to clear out. So Hook steps into the 10 role. Bishop, such a strong player, shakes off a tackle of Sexton. He's brought down by Heaslip. Again, Heaslip seems to have spent most of his time out on this left wing. Adam Jones, lovely sleight of hand and offload. Ball still there for the Ospreys. Hook this time. Dummies a runner, finds Byrne. Alan Wynne-Jones. There's a great opportunity. Jerry Collins outside it, steps inside, goes straight. Good tackle by Mathewa. Could be a try save, or was a try saving tackle. Now it's Heaslip, he offloads. Mathewa again is in the action. The forwards arrive, clear out, it's there for Redden. He looks to dink the ball downfield. It's a weary Shane Williams who comes back. He's looking to attack again now. O'Driscoll shakes off that tackle. He's in open space. Kicks through. Sexton, I think it is his back, waiting for it to go into touch. Happy to run the ball in. Crowd unhappy though with the injury.
Well, there's lots of boos going up. Didn't actually see what happened.
It's Kevin McLaughlin who's down.
Whether we'll have the luxury of a replay there. But what a fantastic passage of play.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. And a great tackle by Mathewa, because Collins, I'm surprised he passed. You always see it now. I think that's the injury.
Well, the injury's there. I think he's done something to his knee. I think there's a twist of the knee. Nothing malicious there at all.
And very typical for the referee when there's so much going on. He's got so much to worry about. It's not a head injury. Ryan Jones, minus the scrum cap, takes the ball. Bennett again, straight in at the back. Ospreys are looking to take this up the middle. Leinster doing their best to spoil. Van der Linde puts his inconsiderable weight behind it. Adam Jones now joins. It's stopped though. Referee's calling that stop once. Ospreys going to look to use this next time. There's the call. Good Leinster defensive line. Again. I was going to say again, good use of the dummy runner, but this time too close to the action. Deemed to be a shield on a penalty, and lets Leinster off the hook.
Well, let's just have a look at that, yeah. He takes Darcy out of the game.
And no need really, Rob, was there?
They've got away with it a couple of times. I mean, certainly when, I said, Jerry Collins got tackled, it looked as if there was a try on. Great tackle, as you said, by Mathewa. But again, there was a lot of sort of work off the ball, a lot of dummy running, and the referees picked it up on that occasion, so they've got to be mindful of that now. They use it very well, but certainly Chris White picked it up once. He'll be looking for it. And the other thing, but we mentioned obviously Leinster's defensive work, the work of Ryan Jones to get back and make that tackle on Shane Horgan. Fantastic. Then he got up and he got straight back involved in play.
Chris White wants the gap. Nathan Hines just helping out. Again, O'Kelly off the top. Sexton. Darcy hits a wide ball. It's Carney. Good tackle. Again, I think the ball's been pinched. No. Redden. It's right. Again, it's slow ball. Redden has to dig for it. O'Kelly inside his partner, Hines. He's tackled by Collins. Ball pops up again. Heaslip dragged backwards by Alan Wynne-Jones and Jonathan Thomas and Adam Jones. Ball still there though for Leinster. Down the right side, there's good defensive line there for the Ospreys. Jonathan Thomas again makes a hit.
And he's pinched it.
Phillips looks up, looks for his options. It's bigger. Again, a big kick move, and Nathaywa's read it well, perfectly positioned. Little dink over the top, it's into space, but Bigger's there. There's an opportunity to go wide. Finds Byrne, Byrne again puts boot to ball. Just happily nudges it down the tram line into the 22. And a little bit more shape from the Ospreys, Rob.
Yeah, I was going to say that there is a bit more control in their game. There's no doubt about that.
Ryan, please, Ryan. You took your time over there. Yes, please.
Well, it's certainly living up to that billing of being the grand final. Yes, there are mistakes, but it's an intense affair.
Yeah, there's great, I said, you know, the ferocity in the defensive effort from both sides has been very evident.
The most unlikeliest of line-out jumpers there, CJ van der Linde.
But there is a bit more control to the Ospreys' performance. Leinster are still at 6s and 7s. They haven't really got their game together at all at the moment.
Good offload from Shane Williams, and yet again, who's there as a great open side flank? It should be Marty Holler. Shane Williams then doesn't have to get involved in the heavy-duty stuff. Take position, Bigger. Tommy Bowe in midfield this time, wide ball, finds Hook. He dinks inside, he finds Bishop. It's Byrne rather, what a great opportunity. He's on the outside, he's over.
Well, again, that was a brilliantly worked try. You've got to say, it was good work initially by the forwards. And this pass, Bigger goes on the run around. Then he has to put some height on it. And the inside ball. And Lee Byrne, you're not going to stop him from there.
Great play from Hook, though. Ball in two hands at all time. Keeps the defence guessing. Well, lovely inside ball. Byrne in full flow.
Well, Nathaywa was prone to coming in for that interception. He got away with it earlier on in the season, just a few weeks back at this ground against the Ospreys. But Dan Bigger's pass was inch perfect to give Hook the time and to use his guile and his skill to weigh up his options, and the inside ball being the better option. Great line again by Byrne. And they certainly look the better side at the moment. They deserve this lead. They've scored the 2 tries. They've created more. And more importantly, there's been more control to their performance. After a bit of a tough start from both sides, they have taken control of this game.
And the extras. Takes it up to 14-3. And well deserved from the Ospreys. Worked very hard for that, and players popping up in all sorts of positions. As you pointed out, Rob, there's Nathaywa. He came in. If you're going to come in there, you've got to take the ball.
You have. I said if they can put width on it, they seem to be finding a fair bit of space. And so the winger's going to make a decision. He either stays out and covers that sort of 15-metre channel, or he comes in for the interception. And if the pass is as good as Dan Bigger's was then, well, you've got every chance of scoring.
Ospreys play up the middle, then happy to pull the ball back and go downfield. Hogan gets into his stride, met by Alan Wynne-Jones. He offloads to Hines, to van der Linde. Ruck is set up, it's there for Redden. Good flat ball. Again, the defence is there, it's Bigger. Keogh this time taking it up. Is Heaslip, again out in the midfield. Nathaywa is there, but he's met immediately, and Jerry Collins follows up on a tackle from Tommy Bowe.
He's not offside, player.
Leinster throwing everything at the Ospreys. The defence is good.
Lost it again.
And it's Alan Wynne-Jones again, another player working overtime, putting the hits in, forcing Leinster into the mistake. Great organisation from the Ospreys, very comfortable in defence.
They're not panicking at all, are they? They're not throwing bodies in for the sake of it. They're keeping, you know, making sure that they defend the space. And a good example of that then when Nathaywa had the ball out here, right virtually on the touchline. 3 or 4 Ospreys defenders had sort of worked their way across. He had no time, no space, no room to play. Had to take the tackle, had to set things up again. And again, when the ball does come back, there's more than ample numbers in the Ospreys' defensive work.
A little bit of treatment for Hugh Bennett. One of 11 players from the Ospreys will be on the Welsh summer tour. Just to remind you, you are listening to S4C's English language commentary option with myself, Andy Moore, and Robert Jones for this pulsating grand final, inaugural grand final, the Magners League. Sensible refereeing from White. Ball's at the feet of Ryan Jones. He said, let's just use it, get it out to the scrum. Dink over the top.
That's a
great return. And that is the time to take a quick line out. We saw in the first half, Bigger taking it quickly, putting Mike Phillips under all sorts of pressure.
That's an interesting one. Let's have a look. They're saying that maybe Lee Byrne took this ball over the line. Well, that's certainly not the case.
He's saying he had his foot. No, because he had his foot over the line as he took the quick line out, which is why it's still Ospreys' ball. For me, irrelevant.
You're onside now.
High ball this time. Horgan's underneath, takes it well. Just looks in field. Carney's there, loves to run, but the Ospreys' defence is up to it again. Hall is in the thick of things. Sexton goes wide. Nathaywa pops up in midfield. O'Driscoll, he cleans out. Van der Linde arrives. Then Redden. O'Driscoll's off again. Isolated slightly. Do well to get away with that, Leinster. O'Kelly to right. Again, this time it's Bishop who's in making the tackle. Jerry Collins as well. Redden to Sexton.
Tackle release.
Good hit.
Away now, away, hands away.
Paul James does his best to get out the way. And again, almost a moral victory for the Ospreys, forcing Leinster to kick. Byrne with a nasty bouncing ball. Strikes it sweetly again, though. Leinster not happy to wait, though. Go quickly. High ball. Into the last minute. Spilt, but it's gone backwards. Bigger happy to push the ball down. And Nathaywa's back there. Does well to keep it in field. And that's half-time. And I think that the players will be more than happy to see that.
Well, I don't think it's quite half-time.
Or is he blown for the injury?
There's only, what, 20 seconds of the game, 22 seconds left. But as you said, it's been a very, very good performance so far from the Ospreys. Defensively, the work. I said, as soon as someone's isolated, they'll throw numbers in to the breakdown as well. Putting huge pressure on Redden to try and get that ball away quickly. I said, Keogh, I think he's hurt himself there, well, you can see.
And that'd be a big blow. Well, having lost Kevin McLaughlin, Keogh replaced him. He's going to soldier on, but it certainly looked nasty.
Well, look, Michael Checker's got a little bit of work to do at half-time here. His side are not performing. And that side in white there, the Ospreys, are in control of this game so far.
Jonathan Thomas this time, flat ball from Phillips. Again, looking to hit up in midfield. It's been a pattern that the Ospreys have stuck to.
Well, this is their last chance. Leinster try and get something back before the break.
Obstruction. Taking the player out in front. Obstruction number 7.
They've got to watch that now, the Ospreys, because obviously Chris White is picking up about this obstruction.
Sexton, a little bit unsure. He knows if he kicks it out, it's all over. I think you're looking around, a lot of tired faces. Well, half-time, 14-3 to the Ospreys. Thoroughly deserve to be where they are in relation to this game. And I hope that you'll join us again for the second half of the grand final. You're listening to Andy Moore.
Well, I said it's important that they start off and get the first points on the board if they are to win this grand final.
So Sexton starts the second half. High ball. Immediately taken by Byrne. Had a good first half, safe under the high ball.
Take him back.
Phillips takes it back, step from Bigger, buys himself a little bit more time, and a little grubber kick through. Will the bounce be kind?
No matter where
Nathaywa receives it, immediately kicks it back down. Byrne waited for the ball to come into the 22, but stepped out as he kicked it. Sexton again just looking to plug that corner. Phillips this time. He's outside the 22. He just goes long. Redden this time slightly hooks his kick.
Well,
But the Ospreys win that.
Yeah, I was going to say they've won the kicking battle there.
And that's Keogh. He was a replacement for McLaughlin. He got injured just 5-10 minutes before half-time. He's obviously struggling. And that'll be a little bit of a shake-up.
Well, they'd have to...
Well, I would imagine Horgan would come on. Trevor Horgan, the second row. And whether you would put Hines or Kelly back from the second row, certainly in a little bit of trouble.
I think he was the one who put big pressure on you. Went up for the ball. But he's certainly not comfortable, is he, Stephen Keogh?
I can't see him lasting too much longer. I admire the guy for sticking to it and getting back on with it, but you could see from that replay immediately from the kickoff he's struggling. Ospreys tie it in. And here the organisation, Phillips shouting at them. We look for the high ball. Nathaywa is under it. Challenged, it's scrappy, it's bounced, it's gone forward off an Osprey's hand, but I think they're starting to play on Nathaywa now.
Well, they are. I mean, you don't see that very often in that area. Normally, defensively, you'll see the box kick from Nines, but that was in a decent attacking position. And I said, you know, if the ball hangs there and you're competing for it, well, I think that's the end of Stephen Keogh.
Say admire the guy for trying, but there's no way he can play on. So a reshuffle now for Leinster.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, will he?
Well, Horgan comes on. Now whether he will find out where he's going to play.
Well, it looks like Hines is going on the blind side there. That's a big, big blow. And they need to take advantage of that blind side.
Again, the same call as we had in the first couple of minutes of the first half. Chris White saying Ospreys are driving in and across. And there's that man Hines.
I mean, Hines is a very, very good second row forward, very abrasive. But whether he has the know-how, the speed,
and also you would expect now Mike Phillips.
Definitely, I think you've got to try and exploit, which is, you know, what's going to be a weakness there, certainly on the scrum. As long as you get a solid platform in front of you, I would certainly look to take him on down that blind side.
Our experienced players, 64 Scotland caps, played for the Lions, Perpignan, Edinburgh. But a big difference playing out of position. Nathaywa, midfield. It's a long ball to Carney. Now Horgan. Shane Williams shepherds him. Sees him down to the ground, immediately back up onto his feet. Again, that's been a facet of play from the Ospreys that's been good. They haven't been on the ground for long. Back up on their feet, into play immediately to reorganise.
Well, again, they're a nuisance when they need to be, but ultimately they're ensuring that they not throw in too many numbers in and they just fill in the field.
Soft penalty, though, from Alan Wynne. He's come through, taken Hines out.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. That is a silly penalty. It's all about the first points in this half. Leinster have an opportunity to get a couple back. And another injury. It is physical, it's very abrasive. I think it's John Fogarty who's struggling at the moment.
Well, they have Richard Strauss on the bench. Previously played for Free State Cheetahs, part of the South African under-19s who won the World Cup back in 2005. But Fogarty, not only would it be a blow for Leinster, but given that he's just been called up to the Irish squad, would be very disappointed. So Sexton, opportunity to close the gap. Free opportunity, really, after a silly penalty given away by Alan Wynne-Jones. Silence descends upon the RDS. Only halted by a ball bisecting the uprights, and the gap closed.
Yeah, that was a great strike of the ball. Very, very comfortable. I mean, that sailed through the post. I mean, some distance there as well, which again will send a warning signal to the Ospreys not to make silly errors and give silly penalties away, because this man will slot the goals.
Redden with a lovely little break. Nathaywa working in very little ground. Mike Phillips goes quickly. Mr. White not happy. Again, tempers fraying. Nothing really too much happening. Tommy Bowe receiving a little bit of treatment now. As you say, it's a very, very physical game. Expect no less. A game of this magnitude.
Yeah.
Bowe, such a key player, not only for the Ospreys but for Ireland this year. Six Nations player of the tournament. And made the dream team, the Magnets, for the third year running. So you can see his importance. Oh, uncharacteristic mistake there.
Well, that's been
not like Darcy at all.
Well, I said a lot of you've seen Hogan drop the ball on a couple of occasions. Darcy, unforced error there. It's just taking his eye off the ball, looking to see what's in front of him.
And that's a compliment to the Ospreys, because their defensive line led by Dan Biggar in that instance.
Well, here's an opportunity for Mike Phillips.
Interesting that Hines is packing at 8. So they moved Heaslip to the blind side. Slightly more used to marking that. Step inside. Burns still got it. Slow. Hines does all he can to make a nuisance of himself. Alan Wynne-Jones happy to take the tackle of O'Kelly. Ball's there for Phillips. It's scrappy, but it is Collins this time. Playing advantage for a penalty. Phillips again hitting up midfield. The chance to come blind. Shane Williams. Flat ball to Alan Wynne-Jones. It's forward, so we go back for the penalty.
I think that's offside decision. Yeah, get these 3 points back. But again, they look very comfortable, the Ospreys, at the moment with the ball. They're accepting the tackles, but what they're doing very well is presenting good ball back to Mike Phillips, and there's lots of movement.
I think that there is a willingness to get up off the floor after tackles have been made, after you're involved in a ruck. You can see that the Ospreys are sending limited numbers to rucks,
yeah.
But when they are there, they're contesting for the ball. They're not making it easy for Leinster. Biggar. Chance to add to his tally. And does so. 17 points to 6. Again, probably what the Ospreys needed. Leinster forced their way back into the game in the second half.
Yeah, Leinster need to get a try. They need to create something. They haven't really created anything up until now.
There was a man there in your shot earlier, Leo Cullen, the captain. Sure, he'd love to be out there. Shoulder injuries forced him out. Cian Healy, also a prop, has come on for Leinster. Takes the place of CJ van der Linde. It's his last game for Leinster as well. He's moving on. Biggar again with a high ball. This time that they were plenty of time. Comes inside, Carney hoists it. Nathaywa will chase this one and challenge. Hugging that touchline, they all misjudge it. And Ospreys will be happy with that. Line out, their possession, their throw in.
That's the middle, okay.
He's been involved in all sorts in this game.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be the happier man of the two coaches.
Crowd doing their best to get behind the team, and it's worked as they pinched the line out. Horgan this time involved. Fogarty takes it up. Adam Jones makes the tackle. Redden's there. Sexton, little move. You could see he was going to come up. Just knocked on.
Well, it was knocked on. I don't think there's any. Was it deliberate? There's boos in the crowd. And I think that's the reason for that. Yeah, Gordon Darcy not happy here. Looks at the pass who's going. Well,
but he's trying to gate it. I've seen them given. Seen them given from that.
I think the one thing, had that ball gone to hand, I think O'Driscoll was in a big hole.
Yeah.
So that'll be the disappointment for them, but it's frustrating them as well. You can see this frustration creeping into their game.
Pinched it.
Some hands there.
Let go, gentlemen. Thank you.
Paul James, I think so.
Andrew,
Not happy.
Andrew, come back here.
Very difficult to ask the touch judge to look at that from 30 yards as to what's going on in the middle of a scrum. Well, 148 games for the Ospreys, Paul James.
Okay, gentlemen.
Highest number.
Now, Prop never makes a mistake either, do they? So,
well, you wouldn't argue with them. Just a little move on the back.
Forward.
Definitely. But looking to keep it tight.
But it's slow again. See, it's slow ball. Well done, the Ospreys.
Redden to Sexton. He fires at a miss ball. O'Driscoll. Carney. Thayer comes inside this time. He has to clear out. Ball's there. Jerry Collins makes the tackle. This time it's right. Just a little bit of a wayward offload gives the Ospreys an opportunity, but they knock it on.
Well, again, Chris White, he said no. I mean, he actually shouted out no. That ball hasn't gone forward. But it was the touch judge, McPherson, who came in. Great tackle by Hook. Touch judges again having their say 3 or 4 times on knock-ons, or I said the high tackle earlier on in the first half.
Again, the scrum has been a mess all evening. A lot of twisting, pulling and pushing. Disruption to the Leinster scrum as well. Hines packing on the blind side. Heaslip back into number 8 at this stage for the attacking scrums.
And Heaslip's fantastic off a good solid platform. I said it's been much better.
Ospreys doing enough though to make it awkward. Puts the back row closer to the Leinster back line. Again a knock on. You can see that the centres, Darcy, O'Driscoll, looking to keep the ball alive, perhaps forcing the ball when it's not there to go. And the Ospreys again will start again at the scrum.
Now the more mistakes you make, I said you're putting pressure on yourself here just to get the ball away. It's not on, the hands are in. The pass wasn't there to be made. But it's so frustrating for the attacking team, and you can just sense it in their performance that it's not their day at the moment.
He can still smile about it though. Quality player.
There's plenty of time. Talking 2 scores and they're in the lead, but they haven't really created anything to suggest that they're going to get those 2 scores quickly. So the Ospreys defence is still coming out on top.
He's got over 250 points for Leinster. 50 tries, 1 penalty, 1 drop goal.
Good stats, Andrew Moore. Good homework, well done.
Ospreys do enough though to win the ball. Down the blind side with Bigger. Was that the right option? Is still going forward. Is a clean out. Hook has to clean out this time. Phillips then takes the kicking responsibility. just hugs the touchline.
Yeah, that's good play. That's where they want to be, put the ball behind them, keep the pressure on. I said they're very comfortable defensively.
Right, it's Leinster who have to do something. At this stage, the Ospreys are quite happy to keep pushing the ball down, playing the territory. Crowd are doing everything they can to lift the Leinster team. I think they must average somewhere along 16,000 for a home games at the RDS. And certainly very vociferous this evening. Malcolm O'Kelly again takes the ball. Gonna run it. Lovely step inside from Darcy. Makes plenty of ground. This time Redden combines with Saxon. Puts the ball over the top. Byrne is there. Little chip. Will he regather? You see him do that so many times. Now he needs support. Shane Williams plays 9. He's engulfed by Ken Healy. Horgan's in there as well. This time Phillips gets back. Tommy Bowe makes yard. Good tackle by Heaslip, was immediately up on his feet, challenging for the ball. It's there for Phillips. Wide ball to Byrne. Getting awfully close to that touchline. Manages to keep it inside to Holler. Ball's there again for Phillips. Can they go wide? Collins. Alan Wynne-Jones is there in support. This is better from the Ospreys. Bigger. Simple scissors, pulls them back in. Again, they need support though, don't get isolated. Good tackle again from Heaslip. Alan Wynne-Jones this time. He's tackled by Jennings. And now it's a challenge on the floor for the ball. Mike Phillips is in there.
Did well to get that back.
Shane Williams comes in at 9. It's Bigger drop back.
Drop goal. This is going to be a drop goal. I think Dan Bigger's there.
In the pocket. Dummies. Steps. James Hook.
Well, I think Dan Bigger went back in the pocket. I don't think he was under huge pressure. Yeah, I think he should have gone for that, Dan Bigger. But then if you make the decision to run it, he's a disappointed man. He knows that was a poor effort.
Great clearance as well from Leinster. Great clearance. Mr. McPherson, just a little bit of confusion as to whose ball it is. Mr. McPherson there saying it's white ball. Just have a close look. That's gone over.
Yeah, that's gone over.
The fact that Ryan Jones was still in the field of play didn't matter. Ball's gone over the line. Ryan Jones comes to the front this time. Quick ball. Phillips, high ball. Bounces, clears the line. But there's something about Leinster now, suddenly.
Yeah, they've definitely lifted it. I mean, I think the crowd have helped as well here as well. They lifted their performance, and still, again, you know, they haven't really created anything apart from a step inside by Darcy, who's looked quite sharp, although he's made some mistakes. But I said they'll be desperate to get some points on the board now.
You go back to that drop goal incident and you wonder, big game, Bigger. Do you think maybe the temperament then on that occasion, you really needed someone to drop that? Little kick over the top for Nathaniel to chase. At first you thought there was nobody home. Bill comes across. They're looking for Ellis consistency. It was no higher than...
There's an injury here.
No, please go away.
This is...
He just scored it a bit high as he slipped.
Oh, I think he's okay. I think initially...
And in fairness, O'Driscoll was in there. Good refereeing, consistency, and as a player, you can ask for no more. First half, we saw it.
Well, I tell you what, that was a lovely kick through, I think, by Sexton.
Just varying the play.
Yeah.
The Ospreys' defence is very well organised. They're coming up, they're in the face of Leinster.
Hang on.
No, very good kick. Bearing in mind you're in the attacking 22, the full-back has got to make a decision either to step up or stay back. There's always going to be some space, and when you've got the players like Nathaniel, there he is, offside mind, but he knew exactly where that ball was going, and Lee Byrne did very well, read it well, and that's the high tackle from Nathaniel.
I think look worse than it was. Looked worse than it was. Yeah. But consistency from the referee, because Nathaniel was on the receiving end, I think, in the first half. Alan Wynne-Jones, safe ball at the front. But Hugh Bennett put under pressure, spilled it. Phillips does well to clear. And from an acute angle, keeps the ball infield, 40 metres down, fielded by Nathewa. Carney tries the high ball. Good jump.
Dan Biggar.
Well taken by Biggar.
Fantastic play.
You can see Phillips put under pressure. Hook, ball in two hands again, looking to offload, does so to Mike Phillips. He takes it on. Someone needs to come in and play 9. Collins is there. Lethargic service, possibly, you're going to say.
He knew exactly what he was doing there.
But buys time for Phillips to get back up onto his feet, gets into position. Biggar, a little bit slow with that. Too delicate. Charge down, he makes the tackle.
Oh, he's done it again.
Fogarty couldn't hang on to the ball, and I think it was O'Driscoll who tried popping it up to him.
No, I don't think so.
Still in field, Nathewa again takes it. Poor pass. Comes to Darcy, he goes forward. Beats 3 tackles, beat 4 tackles. Tackle comes in from Hugh Bennett eventually. Redden, Hines, O'Kelly. Good tackle by Collins in midfield, but Horgan's got it. Out to O'Driscoll. Scissors with Heaslip.
Wow, this is better.
Slowly starting to put something together. Oh, the defensive drive from the Ospreys is good. Hines still has it. Ball will be there for Redden to play. Right, he offloads. Gann has to clear out now. Redden's there, but it's slower ball again for the Ospreys. Gives them chance to organise the defence. Sexton looking to combine with Darcy. Doesn't take the return ball. It's there for Redden. Flat ball. Driving on. Carney and Nathewa clean out. It's Redden. Now it's Heaslip. This is where he likes to play. Fogarty's in there to clean out. Redden takes the ball. Sexton, right. Jerry Collins comes in and makes the tackle. Don't want to be given a penalty away in this situation. Sexton, he's got Horgan outside him, but Darcy immediately on his shoulder. But good defence again from the Ospreys. Ryan Jones in short. This time it's Bishop, tries to bring Horgan down. Takes a foot as well from Fogarty for his cause. Redden, lovely little offload to Healy. Just a metre short, so important now that the Ospreys keep the defence intact. Redden's trying to organise. Jennings is standing off blind, rights up the middle. Horgan comes in to clear, adds his weight to that ruck.
It's a penalty.
It's a penalty. O'Driscoll will still want this, he'll want to have a go. Healy again. Shane Williams takes him down to the ground. Still playing advantage. Redden takes it. Hines this time. He's tackled by Jonathan Thomas. Still a great defensive effort from the Ospreys, but they know they're playing a penalty advantage. Redden hits up to Healy. Fogarty's in there. They're looking for quick ball. Wright is hauled down, and they will go back for a penalty.
Well, that was a great defensive effort from the Ospreys. Breathtaking stuff, that. I mean, Darcy's got really back into this game. He's the one who started this off. But they're working so hard, the Ospreys, defensively. He's in there on the ball. But again, Chris White, consistency again, is saying that the ruck is formed. You've got to take your hands off the ball. He didn't. But what he did do was slow it down. And that's what they've done very, very well. But that was a great passage of play from Leinster. At last, getting into their stride.
Well,
ball carriers up front and behind.
And there's another ball carrier. Ian Gough looks ready to enter the fray. On the standby list for the summer tour for Wales. Many people think he should have been playing this year for Wales. Certainly adds a little bit of grunt. Somebody you want to bring on in a game like this. He'd love this atmosphere. But Sexton, easiest of his chances so far this evening, gets the opportunity to bring the scores to within 8 points. Still 2 scores in favour of the Ospreys. He does so, and you have to say, rewards the efforts of Leinster. They've certainly got themselves back into this game. They're putting phases together.
Yeah, well, it's 3 points, and they'll be delighted to be creeping back up against the Ospreys score. But the defensive effort, as I said, of the Ospreys, they stopped 7 points there. 5 points at least, 7 points probably. Great work ethic. just all working together, filling the field whenever they can. And I said Ian Goff on the field now to add a bit more brute and aggression to that defensive work of the Ospreys.
Well, he takes the place of Jonathan Thomas, who's played well, and here's another guy who can play well. Heaslip, been quite quiet in terms of running, spent a lot of time out on the left wing. No doubt we will see him more in the last quarter of this game. He's brought down by Collins. Speculative.
I think slightly short.
Sexton though, happy to fire it long. Fielded by Hook. He hoists the high ball. Who will take? Hook's chasing. Carney's there. Hook manages to get him on the second attempt. And again, Hines is involved. Bouncing ball for Fogarty. Enforced error again. And they have to applaud the Ospreys. Chasing lost causes, putting Leinster under pressure. Fogarty in that instance wasn't the easiest of balls for him to take.
Well, I said you've got players out there already. Tired. Some people, you know, with cramp and a number of other things already. It's still 18 minutes this game left, 60 minutes this game left. So still a lot of time for the Leinster side to get back in this game. Good blind side for them to attack here though, and interesting again, Heaslip has gone onto the blind side. Hines packs at number 8. And there's another guy who could enter soon. Philo Tia. Well, you're talking about getting tough guys off the bench and standing up to what's in front of them. Well, Ian Goff is one, and certainly Tia is another. His final game as well, in terms of an involvement with the Ospreys, has been absolutely fantastic, and he'll be hoping to go out on a high himself.
You see Heaslip's head comes up immediately from that scrum. He's looking to see what's happening blindside. Pick up from Goff, his first touch, takes it on for a metre. It's there for Phillips, combines with Alan Wynne-Jones. Tackled by Malcolm O'Kelly.
Well, Ryan Jones wasn't happy there, but I think Chris White, he's got a feel for the game.
I think that's exactly right, why he's one of the best referees. He certainly has an empathy and an understanding of what's going on in the game.
Yeah, he does. I mean, he realised straight away there. Nathan Hines sort of made the tackle. He was over the top, but he couldn't move. He couldn't get out of the way. So rather than allow him to be perhaps illegally wrecked, he makes the decision to blow up and award the scrum to the Ospreys.
Well, between Hines and O'Kelly, 114 and 119 kilos. It's an awful lot to move. They hit the blind this time. Now with the runner, here comes Collins. All arms and legs, takes it on. Holler's in. Again, this time accidental offside. Holler picks up, saw the opportunity. Paul James in front of him. On many occasions you can let that go, but there had a direct influence on the game and on the defensive line.
I'm just wondering, again, you know, wouldn't they be better off perhaps, going through 3 or 4 phases? You're putting yourself in a position virtually directly under the posts, just 5 or 6 metres away. Great, you know, everyone wants to look and score tries, but keep the scoreboard ticking over, keep your lead, and perhaps having done bigger again, to sit back in the pocket.
Absolutely. And you would know yourself, Rob, a number of outside halves you've played with over the year, experience. They will be screaming at you from 10, telling you what they want.
Absolutely.
Pound the advantage to Leinster as Heaslip breaks off the back of the scrum.
Yeah, breaking a bit early, the Ospreys. And I said, what you've got to do is you've got to organise yourself. You know, take your time, get your blockers, get your players, you know, your forwards to basically stand in front of the defensive side and just make sure that you've got a clear opportunity to strike the ball well.
Missed touch from Saxon. Byrne is happy to launch it high, and again it bounces. It's a lottery. Wright comes up with it. Slow though. Redden to Saxton. Comes up the side of his boot. And now you have to say mistakes are being made. Plays are starting to get jittery into the last quarter.
Yeah, off the side of the boot there.
Ryan Jones.
I think a lot of it, though, and again, you said it's slow ball. It's constantly slow ball. It was only that last passage of play when they eventually got those 3 points where they were generating quick ball on the front foot. More often than not, the Ospreys are doing enough work in the tackle. Well, this is another big problem. Shane Jennings, captain, going off the field. Another reshuffle. And all New Zealand back row now.
Again, they're looking to go up the middle. Oh, mistake by Bennett.
No advantage.
Again, unforced error.
I said, you're looking now, you've got a hooker on the park now to take the place of open side flanker and captain Shane Jennings. So, a huge reshuffle, I would imagine. Strauss would have to go somewhere in the back row unless Fogarty moves back.
Well, Strauss has played back row before. But even so, big difference between...
Where do you get all these statistics from?
You wouldn't know if I made them up.
When was that? 1997 in some schoolboy game in Orange Free State.
They're not moving.
Just trust me. But you look at their back row now. Hines, Strauss and Heaslip. And as if to compound things, Ryan Jones goes off and you think, oh, one runner gone. And who appears? Tia. Have that. Redden finds Saxton. High ball taken well by Horgan. Shane Williams just holds him down though. O'Driscoll. Dogged effort from O'Driscoll. How many times have we seen that? And again the defence is Alan Wynne-Jones almost.
No, I would say that's a...
Well, his arm is out.
Still advantage, deliberate knock on.
It's a deliberate knock on.
Thanks.
Now.
Yeah, deliberate knock on.
Is that it?
Thanks, Andrew.
No more than that.
He went there. Let's just have a look now. He was looking there.
In a replay, I know it's easy, we've got the replay. That's not a deliberate knock on.
No, I mean, in some ways, what can you do? You can't leave the ball go. You're putting your hand out to try and get the ball ultimately, aren't you?
You're not trying to knock it down.
No.
That said, though, Leinster on the attack.
Well,
how they'd like to get this man into the action.
Well, a score from Leinster now would make it a very, very interesting final 10 minutes.
Again, the crowd right behind Leinster. Haven't lost here in the Magners League since September 2008. Although they did lose in the Heineken Cup at home. Now that's high as well. Well, speculative flick pass. You'd expect them just to come back for the penalty.
Well, is it just a penalty?
Well, he's going over to speak to Andy McPherson, Scottish Rugby Union assistant referee.
Yeah, just the high tackle, I think.
Thank you very much, Brian, just for helping out with that decision. And I think Jerry Collins as well was there just for moral support.
I think is it Gordon Darcy who's down?
I think he almost got through. He sold a dummy.
Time is still off, Jim.
That was Lee Byrne.
And again, Byrne has got a habit of that because he was the one on Nathewa. Certainly the Nathewa tackle, he grabbed the jersey around the neck area. Darcy certainly looks shaken. And again, you have to say it's consistency from Chris Wright.
Well, I tell you what, Gordon Darcy has had a great second half. He's really starting to make inroads, pushes Shane Williams aside. But what he hasn't got is support on the outside there. That's high. But 3 points here puts them within a score. And they're in the ascendancy. And you wouldn't bet against them getting a try late on.
Well, you look at both Leinster and Munster over the years. How many victories have they ground out? In these big games, they know how to win.
I said they keep going as well. They'll keep going till, you know, that 81st, 82nd, 83rd minute.
Again, the silence. Huge kick for Sexton. Brings them right back into this. And does just the job.
Well, Lee Byrne wasn't happy there. Lee Byrne thought that had gone wide, I think. And it looked as if it was comfortable enough. Yeah. But look, Lee Byrne, you can see him there in the replay.
Good kick from Sexton.
Well, Nicky Walker's on the field, and I think Shane Williams is the one to depart.
And you have to say, tactical substitution, bring a big man on.
Yeah.
They know they're going to throw everything at it now.
And he'll carry, if he needs to carry, he'll carry. Simple and direct.
Bevington has entered the field as well. He takes the place of Paul James. Redden again hits the box kick. Tia takes it, big pass infield. Walker immediately, big range and stride. He knocks Horgan down rather. It's no mean feat in itself. Just in touch, Tia. And again, there's a little mistakes creeping into the Ospreys game. It's silly mistakes. Need to keep the ball in field. Not a poor option from Phillips going down the blind side, just looking for a little bit of security. But the stray foot on the touchline.
There's the little things that might cost them. They said a couple of mistakes have creeped into their game. And they said it's been all Leinster the last 15 or 20 minutes.
Fogarty. O'Kelly again, he's had a magnificent game, last game in the line-out. It's all about Leinster now. Horgan adding his weight to that rough. Collins over the top, trying to snare Redden. Hines, he's worked hard. He's getting more involved in the nitty-gritty now. Been dragged in. Defensive line good from the Ospreys. Alan Wynne-Jones leading this one. Forcing Sexton back into the forwards. He's found a little bit of space at the blind side though, but well marshalled by Hook.
I tell you what, you've got a very animated Mark Bennett and Scott Johnson across there. Good defensive work. Sexton then having to cut back because the space outside.
Well, you had Alan Wynne-Jones and Bennett pushing up very quickly, forcing Sexton back in.
Yeah, and I said he forced him into a corner. He did well actually not to go across the touchline. They've got this scrum.
That was killing me, so I gotta be honest. Looking forward to Spain next week.
What messages are you sending on to the boys? Actually, it's so tense out there.
You're giving away some silly penalties, you know, conceding territory. You just got to keep our composure, finish on a positive. There you go again, you know. So we're making it hard for ourselves.
One hand on the trophy, you can't let it slip now, can you?
There's a long way to go.
Thanks, Joe.
Take from that what you will, that Spain is beckoning.
Yeah.
Who would be a coach? Must be frustrating, sat up in the stand, knowing that there's nothing you can do. No, regardless of the messages you can send on, there is nothing that you can do at this stage.
But especially things, you know, like the scrum, the pressure, or Tia just putting his foot on the line. You've got no control over that at all, and those little things could cost you.
Hines this time takes it. God, you see how many times you've seen that from O'Driscoll, just a little pop ball. Someone coming round on the loop, didn't come off in this occasion. A knock on from the Ospreys gives Leinster the opportunity to attack from a scrum.
Yeah, it's not a bad attacking option, this. They said centre field scrum, left and right, the options are there for you.
Adam Jones just asking for clarification from Chris White about the scrum. There's been plenty of free kicks and penalties given at the scrimmage area.
Well, they're all lined up to the left-hand side, Leinster. Spaces out here on the right-hand side.
It's not a bad scrum from Leinster. Controlled by Heaslip.
Heaslip's got nowhere to go though.
Redden. Static ball really to Hogan. He has to go from a standing start. Tia is in. Goff is there.
Bishop.
Alan Wynne-Jones waits. There's a turnover.
Tell you what, Bishop's done well there. Bishop did very well.
But it's all eating into the clock. Moving into the 70.
I think if Chris White hadn't blown as early as he did, that ball would have come back out on the Ospreys side. Andrew Bishop just wrapped the ball up, tried to hold old Hogan, who was isolated, off the ground to try and get that turnover. Did manage to work his way down, but I don't think he had control of the ball on the ground there. Big decision that by Chris White.
Redden. Hogan this time at 10. He comes in short. He's taken by Mike Phillips.
It's a penalty again.
Driscoll looking for that outside break. Can't offload, but it's penalty midfield for pulling back. Again, a silly penalty on behalf of the Ospreys.
Well, it's a silly penalty, but they are under pressure. I'm just wondering. Well, I was just looking here. Well, the tackle was made bigger there on, I think it was a Driscoll.
Just doing that bit to slow him, to stop him getting there as supporting player.
Well, there's some very nervous Ospreys supporters and certainly staff members.
I had Scott Johnson, John Humphreys and Mark Bennett there.
Well, he's raising a smile at the moment, but I think inside everything be eating away at him.
Again, Sexton has the opportunity to narrow the gap to 2 points. He's looked very, very assured with his kick in this evening. Looks very composed. Strikes it, but just pulls it. Just shaves the left hand upright.
Well,
nerves. Just overcooked it slightly. Who'd be a kicker?
Well, I said, you know, there's an awful lot at stake. He's been slotting them consistently and easily for most of the season, but the pressure of a game of this magnitude has taken his toll.
Darcy, Fiesna-Thewa. High ball, Heaslip takes it. Bishop goes low. Holler's in there. He's taken out. Redden lines up quickly as well. That's something the Ospreys have to watch now. Redden again. Get into the midfield. Wright is still going. Driscoll. Darcy comes in to clear out now. Redden's there. There's no centres out in midfield. Hogan comes in at 10. He's tackled by Collins and Adam Jones. Tia comes over the top. It's not a penalty though. Healy tackled by Alan Wynne-Jones this time and turn. There's an opportunity for a turnover. Healy does exceptionally well. Darcy looking close. Adam Jones takes him down in conjunction with Marty Holler. Heaslip's in the thick of things now. He's driven back by Ian Goff. That's why he was brought on. Redden finds Sexton, thinks about kicking, doesn't, gives it to Hogan. Jerry Collins makes the tackle. Tia's over the top. Has he pinched it? Well, good defence. Good defence. Good play from both sides.
Time off, please. Time off.
Yeah, time's called off.
Sterner.
Well, I said Tia there. He just bided his time there. He didn't. He knew he couldn't give a penalty away. He got in. He put himself in a great position. Virtually looked at the referee. Am I okay? Can I get my hands on the ball? And he did. And as a result, they've got this scrum. What is it? 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Correct.
Just to hold on.
But you have to say, Leinster, magnificent effort in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh, they've lifted their game tenfold. As I said, they've tried everything. Darcy's been fantastic in midfield. You know, Heaslip has got more involved. They've been disrupted, there's no doubt about it. That would have had an effect. But look at that tackle. And Tia He stays, he bides his time, he steps over.
Stays on his feet.
Stays on his feet.
Quite happy to do that.
Yeah, he's okay to do that. He's come from behind the gate.
And again, look at the position of the referee.
Yeah.
On the spot. Big 90 seconds for the Ospreys. They know Leinster will throw everything at them. It's about composure. It's about the big players coming to the fore now. Phillips snared at the base by Redden. Hines comes in from blindside. Phillips has the strength to take it forward. They'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great play from Mike Phillips. Showed his strength there and composure. Didn't try and offload. It would be no good for Bigger.
No. But I mean, they just the clock is running down. Still a minute to go. I think Mike Phillips will take that every day. He did get scragged. He did get caught. But he managed to hang on to possession, hang on to the ball long enough to again take 30 seconds away from the clock and get a scrum. And I would imagine it'll be Tia will just pick up, go straight at Sexton, and it'll be a couple of forward drives, the likes of Collins, and then when that clock gets 80, it'll be Mike Phillips or Dan Bigger just putting it across the touchline.
Just to remind you, you listen to Andy Moore and Robert Jones on S4C's English language commentary service. The coverage of this grand final between Leinster and the Ospreys. 1 minute between the Ospreys and the trophy. Sensible play from Tia. Again picks up close quarter stuff. He knows the support is there. Don't expect to see the ball go too wide from this. Alan Wynne-Jones standing a first receiver, not used, but helps to clear out. Goff is there. Holler's back up on his feet. Jerry Collins takes it this time.
30 seconds.
Won't be the prettiest rugby you'll ever see, but it's effective. Alan Wynne-Jones to take it this time. Bennett straight in on him. Adam Jones straight in. Mike Phillips. This time hits Tia. Need to stay in field, keep the clock running. Don't give Leinster the opportunity.
Oh, that's it.
That should be it.
Yeah, it was that Stan Wright coming over. Again, frustration.
Born out of frustration without a shadow of a doubt. And the Ospreys.
So they needed some silverware, and it looks as if they've got it. They've got a line out to go, though.
Just checking with the TMO on the time.
Oh, well.
Now, we've seen this before, Mr. White.
Yes,
Wales, Italy.
Right, this has got to be a simple, straightforward
throw to the front. Tie it in.
Knocked on, that's
it's
fine.
knocked on. And that's your lot. Well done, the Ospreys. Valiant effort from Leinster. But the Ospreys have come over from Wales, come to the RDS, taken the ground record held here in the Magners League since October 2008. And with a fantastic performance have taken the spoils. Tries from Tommy Bowe and Byrne. 2 conversions and a penalty from Dan Bigger against 4 penalties from Sexton. And on the balance of play, you would have to say that the Ospreys deserved to win that game, Rob.
Yeah, they did, because it was a good all-round performance. I mean, they were creative in that first half. It was a disappointing first 10 minutes of the game as a whole. But then they took control. They got 2 great tries, well worked and well organised in their attacking play. And the second half was all about all hands to deck and a massive defensive effort. And they kept going. They kept their line intact. They didn't concede a try. And for that reason, they deserve this great performance. And that man, Filo Tia, he has been exceptional during his time down at the Ospreys, and what a way to round off his career.
And I think you'd have to say it would be very difficult to single out one person in the Ospreys team. It just shows what a great effort across the 22, really.
Yeah, you have to look at, I said, the work behind in terms of the creative work. Dan Bigger did what he needed to do. Mike Phillips was abrasive when he had to be. But the work of the forwards as a whole, they're tackling and defensive effort. Ryan Jones coming back to make tackles on Shane Hogan. Jerry Collins, whether he was ball carrying or making the big hits, he was fantastic. Marty Holler slowed so much possession down. So all in all, yeah, it was a great effort all round from everyone who took the field today, and it was much deserved.
And it's a team that's been threatening to promise for a long time, and perhaps this now, shake the monkey off the back, they can take this trophy back to Wales.
Yeah, they needed silverware this year. Very, very important for them.
Well, welcome back. Confirmation there that the man of the match was given to Lee Byrne. Did score a try, but very difficult to single out one individual on a great team performance, Rob.
It was, yeah, I said, you know, 1 to 15 plus the replacements, they all contributed to a very good performance, and I think on this occasion you have to pay tribute as well to the Celtic League organisers for this playoff system. I think it was a debate beforehand about whether it was right, whether it was wrong, but they've ended up with the 2 best teams in the competition this year.
I think that was
out for the grand final.
That was the pleasing aspect of it. Leinster finished top of the final table, which is why the game has been held at their home ground. Ospreys finished second, just 3 points behind them, and they've come over with a good following, a great attitude, a fantastic performance, and they take the spoils.
Yeah, they do, and deservedly so as well. I said this season, I mean, in terms of, there's been an improvement in terms of their consistency. I think they've, you know, week in, week out, they've managed to get results, but their performances have improved. They've played a lot better in terms of the brand of rugby, but they can keep it tight, they can play a flowing game, they've got the variety there because they've got the players capable of doing it.
And the big names performed today. When the question was asked, in a high-pressure, high-intensity arena, huge crowd against you, they performed.
Yeah, they did. You said, you know, Mike Phillips, very abrasive. I said Shane Williams didn't have much of an opportunity, but then Tommy Bowe does what Tommy Bowe does. Andy Bishop, again, consistency personified, I think, in midfield. Very good game again tonight, very strong, very direct.
It was the basics. It was about doing the basics well in a high-pressure environment.
Yeah, and those 2 guys as well, Jerry Collins, big mates off the field, and both performed on the field. Jerry Collins has been a revelation this year. It's a great ball carrier. And Leinster, of course, for the first time since 2008, as you mentioned, Andy, with your statistical information and knowledge, lose a Magners League game, and what a game to lose. What a way for Michael Checker, Malcolm O'Kelly to finish off here at Leinster.
I think the question has been asked of the Ospreys over the last season or so about their temperament, about whether they can win the big games. They've come up short on a few occasions, but I think just look at that there, the close-knit spirit within them. James Hook, who's somebody who rather quieter of the players, just taking charge in there, saying a few words. And there's a guy who'd be disappointed, O'Driscoll, so used to winning these big occasions.
What a way to finish the season. So we're almost into June. It's been a long, hard campaign, and for people like Ryan Jones now, it's back to work again next week. South Africa, and then of course that tough talk. 2 matches, 2 test matches against New Zealand. But what a way to round off the domestic season. I said in not necessarily great style, but with
the passion of the whole occasion. And there was certainly the best part of 20,000 people there who wouldn't disagree with the playoff system. A couple of presentations being made at the moment to the likes of Malcolm O'Kelly. Finishes after 15 seasons.
Once again, make some noise.
A real stalwart of Leinster rugby. And again, if you look at the statistics, he probably won 80% of Leinster's line-out possession today. Was constantly the target and constantly delivered.
And you just look at the calibre of players walking across that podium there, and you have to again applaud the Ospreys' defence. They managed to keep Leinster hemmed in. They were unfortunate with injuries, See that there, McLaughlin? And then his replacement, Stephen Keogh, he came off, meant the back row was disrupted. So they suffered. It's not easy, again, in a big game. Lastly, coming up on the Leinster team, didn't get on the pitch today, Gervin Dempsey, another player retiring. Great servant to Irish rugby.
So they'll be very, very disappointed. I think they started out as slight favourites, home advantage being the big thing for them, but it wasn't enough.
To take hold of the trophy and head back.
Good for the coaching staff. Again, they've taken a little bit of criticism this year about the squad that the Ospreys have assembled and why aren't the results coming.
Well, I said it has been better. The performances have been perhaps more consistent. They have managed to get results. The disappointment will always be, of course, Europe. The fact that they can't go beyond that quarter-final stage of Europe. And this will give them the fillip hopefully next year to do just that.
Tommy Bowe, of course, will join up with his Irish compatriots on their summer tour. But certainly for this evening, he's Welsh. Again, has scored a very important try.
He's not Welsh, Shaq.
Tonight he is. As is he. A moment, certainly, that the Ospreys and Ryan Jones will have waited for. They've won the Magners League on 2 previous occasions, but I think this one will be special. The inaugural grand final through the playoff system, and slightly sweeter because they came away from home to a very difficult place to come. Huge crowd, favour of Leinster, the home team. But they came here, they won, and they will take this trophy home with them as champions.
Your champions of the Magners League in 2010, Ospreys!
So there they are, having beaten Leinster in their own backyard. The Ospreys are the champions. Thank you very much for listening to Rob and myself. This has been a Sunset and Vine Cymru production for S4C Television.
Y gŵr sy'n chwarae I gwem ola yma ar yr RDS yn lliwiau y gwael. Ydy, mae'r champagne neu'r Magners o leia yn llifo. Y gwael, tîm Ryan Jones, tîm Scott Johnson, Sean Hawley a Jonathan Humphreys. Nhw sydd wedi brwydro trwodd, a nhw yn deilwng yw pencampwyr y Magners am dymor 2009, 2010. A dyna ni, 3 tlws sy ar gael i'r anfarthau Cymru. Mae'r gleision a'r gwael rhyngddyn nhw wedi ennill 2. Cwpan amlyn i'r gleision wythnos yn ôl. Y Magners heddi i'r gwael. Nawr te, cam ymlaen gobeithio at yr Heineken y tymor nesaf. Llongyfarchiadau i'r gwael. Mae seren y gêm gyda Sarah Elgan.
Diolch i ti, Hugh. Wel,